All right, let's get started. It is the down and dirty, a little after 1:30 today. I had to reboot my computer because internet was going crazy on me over here. But I hope everybody's there. I'm going to check and see who's out there today for our live down and dirty call. All right, I see Terry's there, Richard's there. Good to see you both. And maybe a few others that just haven't logged in. So if you're watching the down and dirty today, go ahead and you'll see down below there is a chat window. You can log in there, you can ask questions, and for sure, at least say hello. Even if you're watching the recording, I do check the messages, and I like to know, who watched and if you got value out of today's hangout. So today is really going to focus in on mindset. And if you haven't heard this before, no matter what business you're in or what you do for a living, mindset is 80% of your success. Okay, 20% of your success is due to taking action. So, but if you don't have the proper mindset, forget ever having any type of success, okay, or consistent success. I know you're going to probably say, oh, I know somebody who, has got a really negative attitude and they do have success. It's probably not very consistent, simply because your attitude is what attracts, that success and abundance into your life. So I've put together 5 simple ways that you can attract more abundance into your life today. And I hope that that's something that you would find value in, because I was really thinking today, what would be a good topic that could help my audience, to really help them to start having success in their lives and in their business, and to generate it consistently in their business. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. So let me flip my screen around as always. I have a little presentation for you. All right. So let's get started here. 5 simple ways to attract more abundance into your life. And this is my live down and dirty at 1:30 Central Time. I host these hangouts every Monday. Without fail. I mean, we may have had one Monday in which I just could not be here, but it is rare. I've been doing this, it'll be 2 years this October that I've done these down and dirties. And my goal is to provide you with extreme value in your life and in your business so that you can have abundance and success and live out your passions. Because isn't that what life is all about? It's not about the drudgery of going to something that you are going to a job that you don't like, doing something in your life where you're miserable. It's really about finding yourself, finding your passion, and learning how to make a living doing that, so that you could live out your dreams. That is the dream, and you actually can do it. And I'm going to teach you how to do that with the simple ways that we're going to be talking about today. So here's an overview as to what I'll be teaching you today. Number one, I'll give you a definition of abundance, because some of you may think that abundance has to do with money. It doesn't always have to do with that. You're going to understand the LOA, and I'll describe what that is here in a little bit longer. Hold on, we got crazy stuff going on here. Let me close out some of my emails. Close window. There we go. That way we don't get alerts popping in. Then we're going to talk about the 5 simple ways that I talked about. So simple wants, simple beliefs, simple expectations, a simple exercise that you can do today to help you to have more abundance. And then finally, I'm going to follow up with some simple resources that you can use to help you in your quest for abundance in your life. So let's keep going. All right, so what exactly is abundance? I think that this is a really good word to define, but really what it means is more than adequate quantity or supply. It comes from the Latin word I don't think I know how to say a Latin word very well, but abundantia. Okay, you guys figure that one out. But it means fullness and plenty. That's what the Latin root word means. And really, abundance is the opposite of scarcity. So I'm sure you've probably heard somebody say, he has a scarcity mindset, or he comes from a place of lack. or she comes from a place of lack or scarcity. Usually when they say that, that's not a positive. That usually means that they're not focusing on a mindset of abundance, that there's enough to go around for everybody, right? So this is something, before I go further, you really need to dig down into your heart and soul and think about your thoughts on wealth and abundance in your life. Now, abundance doesn't have to be wealth. Let's talk about a few other things, like, are you abundantly loved? Do you have that special someone in your life? Are you abundantly happy? Do you feel just overfull with joy and happiness? Are you abundantly healthy? Do you feel exuberant and have energy when you wake up in the morning? Are you abundantly wealthy? Do you not worry about money and how to pay your bills because it's coming in, the money is coming in abundantly every single day? All right. Most likely you don't have abundance in all those areas, or you wouldn't be sitting in on this hangout today. So that's why I want to share with you some tips that can really help you in creating that type of lifestyle. So one of the challenges that I've ran into, and I do coach a lot of people on a personal basis, is that sometimes you come from a place in which you believe that there's only enough to go around for certain people. I met several people who, they know someone who is extremely wealthy, or they know of them. Maybe they know like a movie star or a famous business owner who is a billionaire. And their thoughts are, rather than, wow, that's really great, is that, man, they're taking all of the money. There's not going to be enough left for the rest of us. They need to share more of that wealth. It's not fair. And if in your soul you feel that way, then I'm just going to be blunt, you need to change that thought process, because there is more than enough to go around for everyone. Okay, I truly believe that. All right, and your version of abundance or success may be different, and I guarantee it is different than other people. I mean, even your best friend or your spouse, your version of success and abundance may be different than your spouse. And I know it's the same for me and my husband. So you have to really think about, what does it mean to you? What is abundance to you? What would make you happy? What would make you feel abundantly happy? What would make you feel abundantly healthy, abundantly wealthy? Okay. What types of things would make you feel that way? And once you realize that, and you also realize that there's no reason that you can't have that you deserve that you are worthy of that, and that there is plenty enough to go around, it's only then will you start to see some of that flow into your life. I'm sure you've also heard of people saying they're in the flow. Or if you haven't, maybe you hear them say, they've got a lot of motivation right now. Lots of things are going on. Well, when somebody is in the flow or motivated, that means that they're living out their purpose, and they're not worried about lack or scarcity. They're just living their life because they believe that they will be abundant no matter what. Okay, a lot of people who are big risk takers in business and things like that, they have an abundance mindset. So this gives you a little bit of a foundation before I go forward, because the next slide here has to do with, what is the LOA? Well, LOA is the law of attraction. And just like the law of gravity, which keeps us here on Earth instead of floating off into space, the law of attraction is a universal law. And I know that there are people out there who think it's a bunch of, hokey stuff. And I used to be one of them. I mean, I'm telling you that this was weird stuff to me when I first learned about it. And I thought, come on, yeah, this can't be real. But I will tell you that I personally have experienced the law of attraction, and I do in every aspect of my life today. And basically, the theory behind this law is that we create our own realities using our thoughts and actions. So whatever you think about, you bring about. Okay, whatever actions you take, be it positive or negative, it's going to bring about certain reactions. Okay, so not only do we attract the things that we want, we also attract the things that we don't want. So let me give you an example. If you're constantly thinking, man, I never can find the right guy, or if you're a guy, I never can find the right gal. There's nobody out there who's just perfect for me. The ones that I want always break my heart, or it just never is a good fit. Okay, if you always are thinking in the negative, what happens is you will continuously attract the wrong person into your life. Okay, and maybe you're in that situation now where you are with the wrong person and you attracted them. This is why, and I'll just give you a little personal stuff for me. I'm on my second husband, okay? And I like to think this will be my last. I don't really plan on ever getting married again. I said that with the first husband, but I also realized that I attracted the first husband into my life. I realized that my mindset was in a place that man was a great fit for me. So I have no animosity towards him at all, none. In fact, I still love him and wish him well in life. But I also know that we are not a good fit. We both are vibrating at different levels. We both have attracted different things into our lives. And so because of that, I know that what I think about is what causes the right things to come into my life. And so if you're, and I know we're talking about relationships now, but this goes for anything. This goes for jobs. If you are working for somebody currently or in the past, the types of jobs that you agree to take on, you attracted that into your life by the actions you took and by the thoughts that you have. And so if you're miserable at a job, but you're not doing anything to make it better, then you're continuously attracting that misery. All right. So we attract the things we want, and we also attract the things we don't want. I'll give you another example. Let's say that every time that you go to the mailbox, you always are saying, man, I'm so tired of all these bills. Every time I come to the mailbox, there's more bills and more things that I have to pay. You know what's going to happen? You're going to see more bills in your mailbox because you are constantly thinking about that. Now, if you change your mindset and you say, I'm so glad that every time I go to the mailbox, I am surprised that we always have enough. We always have enough to pay the things that we need to pay. And that I feel like we're getting ahead every day. And I feel like that the bills are getting less and less and less because we're getting ahead every day. And I know that may sound really silly just to think that way and to start thinking that way, but I challenge you to do that. Even if you did it for just a week and really watched your thoughts, you might be surprised at what happens and what you bring about into your life. I know I was. When I started experimenting with the law of attraction, I was extremely surprised at some of the amazing things that happened. And I continuously am surprised by some of the wonderful things that come about just by changing my mindset and focusing on what I do want in my life rather than what I don't want. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one here. So here is the very first simple step, and that is decide exactly what you want. Exactly. Don't just make it some pie in the sky. Write it down. Write down exactly what it is that you want in your life. Not what you don't want. Write down what you do want. And keep your sentence positive. Don't say, I really want to have an athletic and strong body, and I don't want to be fat anymore. See, if you add that, I don't want to be fat anymore, that's a negative, and therefore you will attract more of the negative. I'm serious, that's how it works. So you want to eliminate those things that are negative and focus on the positive, and then take action in a positive way. And here's what happens. See, most people, they live mediocre lives because they are constantly talking about, giving energy to and attention to the things that they don't want, such as bills, debts, sickness, etc. But if you choose to focus your energy on all the things that you do want, you're going to start to see more of that show up into your life. Okay, so that's your first simple step, is to decide exactly what you do want in your life and write it down. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is where it gets a little more challenging, and that is, once you've written down what you do want, now you need to believe that you should have it. One of the reasons that many of us don't achieve some of the success that we want is that we don't believe we're worthy. We don't believe that we should have it. What, who am I to have what I want? Maybe your parents never had what they wanted in their life. Maybe they struggled a lot. Maybe they had some big tragedy that happened. And for you to be super successful, maybe in your mind you're thinking, well, who am I? I mean, my parents were so good, and so they made so many sacrifices for me. Who am I to have more success than they ever had? And if that's you, then you need to self-evaluate and realize that you are worthy. There's no reason why you shouldn't have it. And just think how proud your parents would be of you when you do achieve greatness and you do achieve the things that you set out to achieve. Because I think every parent's dream is to see their children succeed much more than they did. I know I am. I mean, for my sons, I have 2 boys, and my greatest dream is that they find a career, an occupation that makes them super happy, and that they never feel like they have to work a day in their life, because they're doing what they love and they're having success in doing that. And if they can do that, then they will have achieved even more than me, because there was a time in my life where I was not happy in what I was doing, and I was very depressed about it. So, if they can avoid that, that would be the greatest gift. And then on the contrary, sometimes we take on the persona. Maybe you had super successful parents who achieved a lot, but yet they weren't around for you as a child. They were always so busy. They worked so hard to achieve what they did that they didn't have time for you. And so maybe in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, if I'm successful, then I won't have time for those that I love. And so therefore you self-sabotage yourself, because you are afraid of being successful, because it might change the relationship that you have with others and the relationship that you might have with children that are in your life. So once again, you have to believe that you're worthy and that it's a good thing for you to have it, and that you're not going to do the negative things that you might have in your memory banks. So here are some examples, and I put that on this page, and that is, believe that you are worthy of a great spouse, because you are a great person. If that's something you want in your life, is a spouse, you have to believe you're worthy of it. Some people don't ever want to get married, and that's fine too. You don't have to do that. I'm just giving examples. And the second one is, believe you deserve success in your business because your product, service, or training is helpful to people. You deserve to be successful. You deserve to help others with your gifts, your talents, and what you share, your inspiration. Another one, believe you are worthy of money, as you will do great things with that money to help people and your family, perhaps. Sometimes I've met people that they believe money is evil. They do. They, in many of the world's religions, including Christianity, there's a Bible verse that talks about. I can't remember the exact verse, but it's through an eye of a needle. It's easier for a person to go through the eye of a needle than to use their money. Somebody else probably can write the quote down below. My mind is going blank right now. But basically, because of that single Bible verse, they believe that having money is an evil thing. Well, I want you to know something, that money can be used for good just as it can be used for evil. Money can be used to build a great monument to Christ if that's something you believe in, or it could be used to support something very negative, such as drug trade or something like that. So it's not money that's bad or evil, it's the person behind it. So really it comes down to you and who you believe you are. And if you believe you're worthy and that you should have it, then you'll do the right things. And no matter how much money you make, you'll always do the right things. And I like to believe, and I do this, is that you use money to help people. You don't spend it all on yourself. You use it to help others and use it to help those in need. That's one of the gifts and the many, many benefits of having money allows you to do. It's a noble endeavor, in my opinion. So this is the harder part, is belief that you should have success in whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve. All right, let's go to the next one. The third simple thing, and it actually gets a little harder, is to expect that what you want is already here. So I wrote some notes down here, and it's often the hardest for most people to have that expectation. Because you look around and your five senses, they tell you that it's not here already. When's it going to be here? It's taking too long. And so you start thinking about those negative things, and you put a time frame on when it's coming to you, and because of that, you don't achieve it. And then you start saying, oh, this law of attraction stuff doesn't work, or this business doesn't work, or maybe I'm just not meant for success, or maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I don't understand marketing. Marketing's not my thing. Whatever it is that you're telling yourself in a negative way, you need to stop that. Okay, this is tough mama coming out. You need to cut it out, and you need to expect that what you want is already here and it's coming to you now. And if you have those expectations, what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing more and more and more of those things coming your way. It may happen immediately. It may happen piece by piece by piece, little by little. You don't know. So just expect that good things are going to happen. And if you have that and you believe that it's already here, it's just awaiting deposit into your bank account, you'll be surprised. It'll start happening. And I really, really believe this. I've seen some things happen in my life that would blow your mind. I mean, just blow your mind. Like I know when I first, and I may have shared this story before on a previous hangout, but I know when I first started understanding and kind of playing with the law of attraction, one of the things that was said to do was to ask for something that you wanted. And it said one thing that this person did, and it was in a book that I read, they asked for a free cup of coffee. So they had this idea that by the end of the day, they were going to have a free cup of coffee from like Starbucks or someplace like that. And so they just kept expecting that to happen. And so I used that, and it did happen for them, by the way. And so I decided, well, I can do that experiment. That seems kind of like a small experiment. So my expectation, I didn't really necessarily expect a free cup of coffee, but what I wanted was a discount. And so it just so happened the next day, my husband and I were going out to do some errands, and we stopped at a coffee place. And I went up there, and when it came time to get my coffee, I had said, hey, is there any way that I could get a discount for this? And it was just totally random, but I just wanted to see what would happen. And you know what? I got a discount on my coffee. They gave me, I think it was like a 15% discount for my coffee, just for asking for it. That's all I did. And then that same day at that coffee place, there was a ceramic travel mug. And my husband doesn't like to drink out of plastic travel mugs. It's kind of funny. And so we're always looking for like a ceramic mug that has a lid. And they had one there. And I picked it up and I thought it was kind of cool, but I mean, it was cool. And the price was a little more than I wanted. So again, I went up there and I asked, I said, hey, can I get a discount for this? And they gave it to me. Okay, they gave me a discount and I couldn't believe it. So, you know, if you expect what you want is going to happen and that it's already here, it's almost like Star Wars Jedi stuff. I mean, I really using the Force. And my husband laughed. He couldn't believe that I actually got a discount for both things just for asking for it. So I challenge you to expect that what you want is already happened, it's already here, and you might be amazed at some of the things that happen in your life. All right, so let's move on. So I wanted to, before we do the fourth one, remind you that the law of attraction does not replace action. A lot of folks, they just keep thinking about attracting the right thing, but they never take action. So for those of you that are in learning mode and you're learning lots of new things in your businesses or in your life, I challenge you to take daily action towards achieving what it is that you want. And even if it's as simple as picking up the phone and calling somebody to get some help in your business, or maybe maybe you need to send out that email or get out that newsletter, or maybe you need to look for a new job, or maybe you need to have that talk with your boss. Okay, whatever it is that you need to change in your life in order to have a more positive life, start taking action towards it and continue to use those first three simple tips that I just gave you in order to attract the right things into your life. All right, I think this is a good break point. Let me just see how everybody's doing, see if you guys are still there. Oh, we got quite a few people jumped in. Hi, Bridget, good to see you here. And all right, I see Eric Johnson's out there. Good to see you, man. That's awesome. And Richard, you're getting checks every day in the mail. We love that. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to talk to you about how you're doing that. So good. So I'm gonna keep going then. So let's go to number 4. This is a simple exercise for abundantly attracting what you desire into your life. So you guys ready? I mean, this is so easy, but it can really start to change things for you if you do it and you take it seriously. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up a blank notepad. And what I challenge you to do is right now, go get some paper. If you don't have some paper right now, get a blank piece of paper. And I want you to draw a line down the middle of the paper. Okay. And then on one side, you're going to write what you want. Okay, that's on one side of the paper. And so right underneath that headline, you're going to list, whatever it is that you want. So, maybe you want a new car. Maybe you want your house to sell. Maybe you want to meet somebody that might be a potential spouse. Maybe you want to lose an extra 10 pounds. Whatever it is that you want, write that one thing down. Okay, this is just, you can do this exercise multiple times, but in order for you to have the most success, I challenge you to write down one thing right now that you want. And that's on the left-hand side of your paper. Okay, so I'll give you just a second to write that down. Okay, all right, so now underneath what you want, I want you to write at least 10 things, okay? 10, so just number your paper down the page, just like I'm doing here. It's better to write it longhand than it is to type it up, but because of the interest of this presentation, I'm just gonna type it. And you can put more than 10, but 10's a good start. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put why you want it. Okay, on each one of these. So this is, I just put that there, but so let me give you an example. Maybe you want to earn an extra $1,000 this week. Okay, so you might put some reasons down as to why you want that. It'll help you, pay off a bill that you know is coming up this week. It'll allow you to maybe go out to dinner. Maybe you haven't done that in a while. It'll make you realize that your business works. It'll give you proof that your business actually works. Just start listing, and you may have to really think on it, but I want you to list 10 reasons why you want what you want, and just start listing them down here, 1 through 10, and I'm going to give you a little bit of time to write those down. Okay, just keep going. I'm going to go back to my slideshow here. So what you want, why you want it is what you're going to put underneath that on your piece of paper. And I will wait just a minute. I'm going to see how you guys are doing. Okay. All right, I'm going to go back. So if you didn't have time, you can always come back in here and do that. So you're going to have to imagine for a second that there's a line down my paper. But what I want you to do is on this side of the paper, and I'll just kind of make a line here. All right, you just have to bear with me. I'm kind of improvising here. Okay, so we're going to imagine there's a line down, but on this side of the paper, you're going to write down, and let me go back to my notes here so you can see, why do you believe you'll have what you want? Okay, so let me go back here. Oops. Continue. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Okay, so I know that I gave you plenty of time to fill out your sheet, but for those of you that are just tuning in and you wonder where I went, what you should be doing is you should have a sheet of paper. On one side, you're going to write what it is you want on one column. Fold your paper in half. One column is what you want. Underneath it, why you want it. At least 10 reasons why you want it. Once you're done making that list, to the right of that, you're going to write down why it is that you should have it. In other words, why do you believe that you'll have what you want? And once you write next to each of those 10 what you want, the last thing, and this is the part that is really important, and this is what everybody misses, is you want to expect that whatever it is that you want is on its way to you. So I'm going to flip my screen around again so you can see the rest of my presentation, and we're almost here to the very end of the presentation. Okay. All right. So just to recap, what you need to know what you want, why you want it, why you believe that you'll have what you want, and then finally have an expectation that whatever it is that you want is on its way to you. And if you look at that piece of paper every day, and you also take action, positive action towards that, you're going to start to see these things come into your life. It may happen all at once, it may happen piece by piece, but it will start showing up into your life. It's really amazing how that works. All right, so the last step of my simple 5-step process for abundance is some simple resources that you can use to help you harness your power of attracting abundance into your life. So one of the very first things that I recommend is that you get a mentor. It doesn't necessarily have to be me, but you need to find somebody who resonates with you, somebody that you feel like that they're at a point in their life where they can help you to get to the next level. All right. And for those of you that I do personally mentor, I just want to say, number one, I'm so honored that you selected me to be your mentor. But secondly, I want you to know that at some point, you will not be able to use me as your mentor. And it's not because I don't love and care about you and want to mentor you. It's because at some point, you will reach a point in which you need a different mentor to take you to the next level. And I'm very aware of that, and I'm very open to that. So I want you to be aware of that, so when that time comes and there's a little resistance between our mentorship, that you look at it like, this is a positive thing. This means that I'm ready to go to the next step in my evolution and in my dreams and achieving my hopes and dreams for the future. The second thing I recommend is that you start reading more good books. By good books, I mean those that are self-development, self-improvement, books that are going to help you in reaching your fullest potential and in becoming the best version of yourself. And I'm going to share with you some of the books that have really influenced me and took me to the next level much more quickly than any of the other books I've read. And I'll do that on the next slide. And the other thing you need is a system, an action plan, a system in place to help you achieve your goals. It's one thing to, think about what it is you want and to expect it to come into your life, but you can't just sit there and wait for it to fall into your lap. I am a true believer that you have to take action. And the best way to take action is to put into place a step-by-step plan on how you're going to achieve what it is you want. And know without any doubt that those step-by-step plans are going to work out somehow. Even if some of the tasks seem unsurmountable, if you have the proper mindset, you will find a solution because of that mindset. All right, so let me share those books that I have. So the first one is Money and the Law of Attraction. This is probably my favorite. I specifically like it in the Audible version because Esther's the one that reads this on the Audible version, and I just love her voice. Okay, it's just soothing, and the book is great, and she's one of the authors, and it's just a fabulous book that helps you understand the law of attraction and how to use that in your life. And again, this is Money and the Law of Attraction, and it's Learning to Attract Wealth, Health, and Happiness by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Another book that I am almost done with, it's not as easy of a read as Money and the Law of Attraction. It's very deep stuff. And I can only read like about 10 pages a day, and I have to really digest it. But it is fabulous. And that's this book here, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This one will really, it'll really make you think about how everything works and how things happen in our life. And then it also gives you a process that you can use to start attracting more wealth and abundance into your life. Just as a testimonial, and I'm not an affiliate of any of these books. I don't get paid. I don't know any of these authors personally. I'm just giving you my own personal testimonial. But for this particular book, Dr. Joe Dispenza, after I read through chapter 3, I had one of the biggest financial windfalls in a week's time that I've ever had. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything like that, but I'm just saying that there was something inside of me that changed after reading the first 3 chapters that caused some really great things to happen in my life. And I've had other people who've read it say that the same things have happened to them. So if that's not a powerful testimonial, I don't know what else is. And then another one, which is also by Esther and Jerry Hicks, is Ask and It Is Given. I think this book was actually written before Money and the Law of Attraction. So if you're going to read things in order, you might want to start with that one, and then this one, and then the one by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This one, I recommend if you do get the Audible version, which is the audio version, that you also get the second part, part 2, which is the processes, is what that part is called. Because the first part gives you kind of a foundation for what the law of attraction is all about. And the second part gives you step-by-step processes that you can put into place to start achieving what it is that you're wanting to achieve. So these are my recommendations. There's many, many more books out there, but these 3 in particular completely helped me change my thought process and start attracting more abundance into my life, and definitely have led me to live out my dreams and my purpose in a very powerful way. So I'm going to flip my screen back around because that is all the slides that I have. All right, I wanted to thank you all for your patience and sticking around, even though we had some technical difficulties on today's presentation. I really, I hope that this has taken you to the next level, and that you see that it's not just what you know that gets you to a level of abundance that you desire, but it's how you think about those things. And I've been blessed to be around a lot of really wealthy and abundant individuals in my life. And I've noticed that all of them, whether or not they're aware of the law of attraction or not, all of them have the same mindset. This mindset of whatever it is that they think about is going to happen. And they're risk takers. They realize without a doubt that what they want in their life is possible for them. And that if they just keep taking action and keep believing that it will happen, that it does. And one thing else that none of them have done, they don't put a time frame on their dreams. They don't say, well, if I don't make this much money, or if I don't lose this much weight, or if I don't have a spouse by this date, then I'm just going to scrap it all and give up. None of them that have had abundance that I've met personally ever take that attitude. They believe that life is a journey and that every day gets better and better and better. And when you look at it that way, you'll find that it does. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I am looking in the chat room now to see if you guys are still there. All right, I see Eric and Richard and Terry are still there. If there's any questions you have, or if something got cut off in my presentation today, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer those as well. So make it a great rest of the week, and I look forward to talking to you next Monday for the Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central. Take care. Thank you all.